For centuries, European and Ottoman narratives alike painted a picture of an unstoppable tide, a monolith of 50,000 Janissaries surging across the borders of Europe. But if you look at the dust-covered ledges of the 17th century, the myth begins to unravel. Today, we aren't just looking at battle maps. We're looking at the actual logistics of the 1663 to 1664 Ottoman-Habsburg wars. Was the Ottoman war machine truly the invincible, static force we were told about, or was it a highly adaptive, struggling, and complex organization? Let's find out. To understand 1663, we have to look back at the 1596 Egri campaign. It wasn't just about swords, it was about grain. Rusname records show that while the Ottoman logistical machine was light years ahead of its European contemporaries, it was vulnerable. During the march back from Belgrade, the army faced severe supply failures, with significant shortages recorded in more than half of the marches. This wasn't just poor planning, it was a mix of anomalous climate events and agricultural crises. The Ottoman state's true power wasn't just in the number of soldiers, but in how they managed these logistical thresholds. We are seeing a state bureaucracy that was constantly under immense pressure to sustain a grand campaign over hundreds of kilometers. Now, let's talk about the Janissaries. In 1660, the treasury records show over 54,000 Janissaries on the payroll. It sounds intimidating, right? But the El Sefer, the active servicemen, tells a different story. In 1663, thousands were tied up in the Cretan quagmire or local garrisons. When Fazıl Ahmed Pasha marched to Yerevan, Habsburg ambassador Simon Reniger reported that there were barely 10,000 Janissaries in the field. Others estimated between 8,000 and 12,000. Why the discrepancy? Because the Ottoman central government had shifted its strategy. They were no longer mobilizing every single Janissary from Istanbul. They were creating a mobile, professional corps while turning frontier fortresses into regional power bases. If the central Janissary count was lower than expected, how did they fight? The answer lies in the Ümera Kapıları, the commander's gates. These were autonomous power structures built around influential viziers and parsas. They didn't rely solely on central payrolls. They contracted freelance soldiers, local infantry, and specialized riflemen. These forces provided the flexibility the central state lacked. Whether they were Bosnian, Albanian, or specialized mercenaries, these units turned the Ottoman army into a flexible coalition rather than a rigid hierarchy. By the mid-17th century, if you wanted to understand Ottoman military strength, you didn't just count the Janissaries, you counted the Pasha's private loyalties. The Ottoman army was not a static machine, it was a living, breathing, and struggling organization adapting to a world of gunpowder and long-term warfare. It was a state that learned to trade central rigidity for regional flexibility. Join us as we continue to dismantle the myths and look at the real history of the Pax Ottomana. Don't forget to subscribe for more deep dives into the military history of the Sultan's March.